Oh, nice shot. That'll do. Now you believe me that I don't play golf. Don't be fooled by that first shot.
I've played under a few different England managers from '93 to 2002. What was the length for your England career?
83 to 95.
So a few different
quite a
managers
few
as well.
yeah.
Strict managers, cool managers.
I think if you look at, it depends on the players you have. When I first got in the squad, Bobby Robson.
Yeah.
I didn't play on Ron Greenwood, he was obviously 82. Bobby took over in 82, I got in the squad.
Yeah.
Then if you look at the characters of the players there, we still had Terry McDermott, funny enough. Brian Robson, you had characters who liked to go out and have a drink, and Bobby had to be able to handle that.
Yeah.
But this is the way club football also was. So you had to be quite lenient with players because you couldn't control them in terms of their drinking habits and going out habits. Then of course Graham Taylor took over in 93, and I'd been under Graham as a young boy, so I knew what to expect.
At Watford.
Culture shock for the rest of the squad because he was in the 80s very strict. When other clubs were allowing their players to go out and drink, I was 17 years old. Pat Rice played right back. Pat had to toe the line, and Graham had everybody very, he was strict with everybody, organised with everybody, disciplined with everybody. I thought that's what football was.
Yeah.
Then when I went to Liverpool in '87, I thought, well, no, Watford are unique in that. So when Graham took over at Watford, it kind of like changed the dynamic, gathered in the squad.
All depends on the manager.
Depends on the manager, but also
whatever he likes.
Well, you may think that, but once you got Gazza in the squad, you know Gazza's not going to change. What is Graham Taylor going to do? So Graham had a problem with, because at Watford, no matter whether you're the superstar or not, we're all the same. But with Graham, he then said, how do I handle Gazza? And of course, Gary Lineker's still in the squad as well. And while Gary wasn't going out and drinking, Gary, in terms of the way he wanted to train and he wanted to do his own thing, Graham struggled with that as well. And you remember when he brought him off.
Yeah.
You remember when he didn't qualify.
Yeah.
Then after that, Terry came in. And Terry was a happy balance between the two. Because Terry understood that, okay, and Terry was strict when he had to be, but he also was quite relaxed, as you know, knowing which players he can treat in terms of allowing them to get away with certain things, whereas Graham wouldn't do that. So I think the one who probably got the balance best in terms of handling the situation, more to do with his character of being, I don't want to call him an East End white boy, but you know what you companies are like. He's able to get the job done.
Yeah.
In a good way, whereby people wouldn't then say, how come Gazza can do this and we can't, type of thing. So Terry was probably the best at handling that situation.
But he had a great way of making you feel good as well, though, didn't he?
Whatever
character you was, he made you feel comfortable, didn't he?
That's what I'm saying. So what would happen with Graham is that Graham says, this is what we do. And if you don't like it, no matter whether you're a Gazza or anybody else, and I'm not going to pander to you.
Yeah.
Whereas Terry had a way of, even if he didn't like you or he felt it was wrong, but he had to do that to get the best out of you, he would allow you to do that.
Yeah.
You had him at Tottenham, so with your England managers, I don't know how you felt with your England managers.
I started with Graham Taylor. I know you speak very highly of him. I didn't really get him. Probably didn't work with him enough. I think I only had 2 games under him, so that was very early on in my England career. But he gave me my debut, so I'm very thankful for that. But Terry Venables was the best for me. He just had a way of getting the group together, united as a club team, felt strong against everybody else, and he made you feel good about yourself and your football that you played. And ultimately, that's all you want, isn't it? As long as your players perform how they do on a Saturday, that's the reason why they're getting picked to play for England. As long as they perform like that, then you that's all you can ask for as an England manager.
The interesting one for me that I played with was Glenn. Because Glenn, not only as a player, but as a person, was the life and soul of the party.
Was he?
Him and Kenny Sampson were the jokers. They were going out, any jokes, and then of course, when he became manager, and I hear stories about Glenn, and I don't know his back problem, and then whatever he became, and people see a different Glenn Holt to the one I know. So when people tell me about Glenn in '98, I just speak to Ray Parler. That's not the Glenn I knew. So how did you get on with Glenn?
Well, it's funny you should say that with Glenn, and I remember Terry Urlock saying to me about Alan Kirbishley, that he played with him, he knew him as a youngster, and Curbs was very serious as a manager, so I like Curbs now, I like Glenn Hoddle now, but working for them, I think they changed their tune and they became very serious, rather than being themselves.
Well, was Curbs serious as a player as well, though, when he was young?
No, I think he was a great lad. Yeah. So Terry Urlock told me he's a great lad. Yeah. You'll love playing for him, and I'm thinking, no,
Glenn was incredible.
He wasn't. But a little bit the same. Harry Redknapp you know, he was very serious as a manager. Everyone thinks he was laughing and joking, telling stories all the time. Not to his players, he wasn't, because you know you have to get across your point of view or what you want to them. If they're not doing the right things on the pitch, you become angry, didn't you?
Yeah.
But
the Glenn I've heard was just like, speak to anybody who played with Glenn in the 80s, they cannot believe when they hear stories about Glenn the way that they say he was in 98 and stuff like that. Because when you talk about someone who was the life and soul of the party,
really? He had fantastic footballing ideas.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
But
the way he puts them across.
Well, the way he put them across, it just you know, if he had lightened up a little bit, I think he would have been fantastic. You know, because everyone was there. You know, my motto is work hard, play hard. You know, as long as you're doing that, you know, that's all that matters. But I don't know, he seemed to get the feel that we weren't there to work hard. It was just about playing hard, and it was like, you're playing for England. This is all our boyhood dreams. We want to do well for England at a major competition. Let's go and do it. But
so I think what we're both saying really is Terry was probably the best one.
Terry had the balance of, you know, let's enjoy ourselves, but when we've got to work, let's get back down to business. And that's where I think Gareth Southgate's coming to the fore now, that he tells his players, maybe a different era and a different way they're enjoying themselves, but enjoy yourselves, but we're here to work and do well for the country.
But I don't think Gareth will have the problems that either Terry did, or Glenn did, or you know, Graham Taylor or anybody did, because I think the characters now are ones who really want to be led. Yeah. Not just want to be led, but they aren't any problems. They don't give any problems. So Gareth is fortunate.
And I think they are being led, so we're good. Nice. Oh, you can have that one, man.
Thanks, Dad.
What? I'll pick that one up for you as you're a little bit older than me.